Last week's game at Dixie was a game of two halves, and it was a game that was frustrating because we did a lot of really, really good things in that game, and that's what unfortunately the score doesn't always reflect. And it was a standpoint that we played extremely well the first half against a really good football team, and actually in the second half we played well at times, but we just weren't able to capitalize on some situations. We had the lead in the third quarter, and even when they came back and they scored that first possession, made it 21-14. We came back. They scored again, made it 21-20. They failed on the conversion attempt, and then we came right back down the field, and we had an opportunity. Literally, we just had a little bit of miscommunication on pass route, and we just barely missed it. Should have been a touchdown situation. I think if we score a touchdown at that point, it gives us the momentum back. Unfortunately, we didn't, so we line up to kick a field goal. We get a delay game penalty, first one we've ever had since I've been here on a kick situation, and everybody was on the field with 16 seconds left, and we just didn't get it off. And then the very next one, the kicker kind of drove a little bit. One of the interior linemen put his head down and gave up a little bit of penetration. It's blocked. Well, then that gave them even more momentum, and literally then 4 plays later they scored. They went ahead. We come right back down the field. We had an opportunity again for a touchdown. We're one step away on a final block from basically a screenplay that goes to the end zone. And so that would have, again, I think would have really helped change momentum. Unfortunately, we didn't. Well, then we kicked the field goal. Well, then at the same time, right after that is when they came back, and one play, they hit 80-yard run play. And I think then that changed that and gave a complete swing in that game. And so like I told our guys on Monday morning, it was basically, for me, I think it was an 11-point swing for us, at least. We had an opportunity for basically 11 more points on the board rather than just the 3 in that time. And I think the momentum allowed them to basically put 14 on, and literally that was a 25-point swing in a matter of just a couple minutes in that game. Other than that, I think we played extremely well in that football game. And so when you look at it, it's frustrating because we know we've got a good football team, we know we've got good players, and we just have to play more consistent, and we've got to be able to capitalize and help each other out when one group has momentum, be able to feed off that momentum. And if somebody is struggling, the other side has to be able to step up and create that momentum for us. And we haven't been able to fully solve that yet. But the great part is, you take a look, our guys kept battling, they kept competing in that game. And literally, even in Dixie's last drive that they scored, they ate up over 5 minutes of the clock, whatever it was, 5-6 minutes. Our guys kept playing well, and literally we had them stopped. And there was a extremely questionable penalty call that was huge in that drive. Otherwise, we get the ball back with them having only a 3-point lead, and we now have basically about 3.5-4 minutes to go in the game to get the ball down into scoring position. So, like I said, I'm proud of these guys. They continue to battle. They continue to get better, and I think we're gonna be ready to come out and play this Saturday.
This week you go to Adams State, another team had a lot of close games.
Adams. Exactly. Adams is a team that they have had a lot of games that they can look back at, and I think that they could literally say that they've kind of beat themselves in a couple of those games. They had some turnovers that basically led to some points for the opposing team, and they have played really, really well at times, and they're sitting at the same place. I think basically that we are roughly 4-4, 4-5, as far as from a record standpoint, but they are playing very well, and I know that we got to go down there. They're a very explosive offensive football team. Defensively, they've been playing much, much better this year, and all you got to do is go back and look at that. Even that Pueblo game at the halftime, they were basically dominating the game statistically, but they were behind on the board, and that because of a couple of defensive scores that Pueblo had. And so as we go down there, we know it's going to be a very good football team, and we better bring our A game, and we got to be ready to play.
Open up for questions.
Yeah, how do you keep the team motivated after losing, a few of these close games?
One of the big things that we've always talked about in any kind of sports situation and stuff, Troy, it's a standpoint that a season is part of a journey. And every single time we get ready to come back out, we got to learn, we got to grow, and we got to get better. And that's whether you win or whether you lose. That's really what it continues to be. And a lot of times, is there naturally more momentum when you're playing for championship stuff? I think so. I think that's just part of the natural progression of things. But I think also, when you look at the true measure of a person, the surrounding circumstances don't really affect who you are as a person. And these guys just continue to work hard, and they continue to work, and I mean, to get better. And I mean, that's really what we're asking and stuff. And it is part of a journey. And, you know, we still have some great opportunities out in front of us that I shared with the team, you know, on Monday as well, as far as things that we still have the ability to accomplish. I think I look back in the record books. I think 1985 to 1990, I think, was the only time, I think, in Mesa football history that there have been 6 winning seasons in a row. We have a chance to do that yet if we can win these last 2 games and stuff. I don't think it's been done since it's been a Division II school, an institution. So, again, those are still some great things that we still have out in front of us, and yet it's a standpoint that we know our best performance is still out in front. And so, you know, as far as the motivation of these guys, I think the motivation has always been and continues to be from internal. It's a standpoint of them wanting to be the best that we can be. And as a coach, I've said this before, I have really enjoyed coaching this football team because of who this football team is and how they work, and basically the character of this football team. If you were down in the locker room and a part of the things here, you would find out that these guys, they play hard for each other, and that's really what you want to happen. Obviously, you know, you always want to win. Unfortunately, in college football, every Saturday you get up and by the end of the day, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. You know, and it's a very, very fine line. Like I said, we could go back in those first couple games. We were 1 play away from wins. This last weekend, we were basically, again, it was in a matter of about a 3-minute span that, to me, there was literally a major turnaround. And so we know we've got a young team. We've got some guys that are continuing to battle, but I'm very proud of these guys, and I think that they know and they understand that we're going to continue to battle and we're going to continue to compete.
You talked about, you know, how there's just a couple plays here or there that just don't swing the right way. In practice, how do you kind of address those situations? Because it sounds like talking, you know, the football players are there. They have the, you know, right mentality. It's just kind of being in the right place at the right time and making that play.
You know, some of it just comes down to being just a standpoint of experience, and that's one of the things we talked about early on. We are a very young football team right now on the offensive side. I think we've got basically 2 seniors that generally start, and I think we got nine sophomores or younger, and it's hard to get that continuity in that kind of time period situation. Some of the same thing defensively. You look at some of the injuries that we've had on both sides of the ball. We got a lot of guys that weren't even on the 2 deep to start with that are playing now as starters for us and playing significant amount of time. And so you know, there are things that go on outside of your control sometimes that you've got to just be able to live with, and you've got to be able to continue to get better, and you've got to be able to try to put all the things all in place, kind of fitting that puzzle together. And so as far as where this team is, like I said, it's not where we want to be in the win-loss column situation, but as far as the guys working and continuing to get better and continuing to work at doing the things right, it is definitely there, and that's what they continue to do. And so, like I said, I'm very proud of these guys.
Jesse, kind of going off how you guys keep coming back, and how do you, especially the young guys, I mean, the freshmen, first year playing, how do you not get discouraged and just say, okay, we got to come back again next week and get better?
It's all just having a will to win, and just looking to the dude to your right and to your left and saying, all right, I want to do this down for you guys. Let's do it all together. And it's just having the will to win, wanting to. It starts in the weight room every day throughout the week, grinding in there, and then practice, and then just setting the mindset before the game, getting your mind right, and wanting to win every down. That's just the mindset we got to go into games.
Seeing Reed's the older guys trying to not only win for the seniors, also kind of helping the younger guys. What do you guys kind of do?
Well, we just tell them that it's one day at a time. Go to practice, do your best. Go to weights, do your best. Get in the classroom, make sure you're doing your assignments, and it's just starting one day at a time throughout the week. And then when we get to Saturday, then we put all of that hard work that we put throughout the week into doing that. And everyone's bought into it. Everyone knows, Jesse knows, everyone younger and older knows that for these seniors it's their last ride. They know that it's this is their last stop. And so if they get a chance to play, great. If they don't, they know that they know they put in the work. They know that they did everything that they could do to get that degree, to get that good job that they're going to go get after this. So, yeah.
The last few weeks, the guys on the broadcast, He's been all over the place today. I mean, and you have. I mean, you've been chasing guys all over the field. It looks like everything just has clicked maybe for you, or?
Well, I thank everyone on the defense. We'd be here for hours, but it goes to the whole D-line knowing their job, knowing their assignment. Mason's getting 2 or 3 people blocked on him every game, so it opens opportunities for me to go and chase the quarterback. Ricky's taking on double teams all the time. Kyle's out there doing his thing. We got all the DBs back there locking people up and doing the coverages, running the right stuff. We have the linebackers flowing, making plays. So with all these people doing all these things, it opens opportunities for myself and for the other guys to go out and make all these plays that we're doing.